Hello, all. So, hope you guys are doing good. And today we are going to talk about the importance of mental toughness as a business analyst and as somebody who's working in IT projects. So, generally, when somebody is stepping into the information technology field, we are almost always more focused on what skills to learn. Should I learn Power BI? Should I learn Tableau? Should I learn Java? Should I learn .NET? Should I learn Salesforce? Should I learn Microsoft Dynamics? Should I learn Figma? Should I learn database tool like Oracle or SQL Server? We are almost always focused on the tool. But in reality, tool is important, but something else that's more important is your mental toughness. Let's say, for example, you are starting out on a project, and even before you get a job, right, you have to apply, or you might have to get placed, and or you might have to apply and then get a job. You need mental toughness for that. You cannot get a job without mental toughness, without being smart. You will be turned down there. It might be a scenario where you are not getting a job for 3 to 4 months, and then on the fifth month, you are cracking that interview and you are getting a job. Um, or as an or you might be abroad, right? And then you are trying for a job. You might be on a visa and you're trying for a job and it's challenging. The expectation is very high. So to get a job, you should be mentally tough. Now, once you get a job, you go into a team, everything is new, you don't know what to expect. Again, you need mental toughness. You need the skill set, you need the tool, Power BI, Tableau, Java, Python. But at the same time, you also need the mental toughness. Your manager might tell you to deliver something sooner rather than later. You need to be mentally tough. In IT, something that I've seen happen a lot is uh, people get blamed for things that they do not do. You need mental toughness. There will be office room politics for sure, especially if you are working public sector. You need mental toughness. And the middle managers that I have seen, mostly, they just care about themselves. They like to kiss up and kick down, kind of beta males. They are not alpha, they are most likely beta males who just try to stab people in the back. I can feel the emotion in me when I'm talking about them, right? They lie all the time. Even if you perform well, they go and say this person did not perform. So they do all that nonsense to give it back at times in a very seasoned manner and to deal with these beta backstabbing middle managers. You should be mentally tough. It's not about the skills at all the time. I mean, a lot of reporting managers are good, but then there are reporting managers who are not so good. If you have to deal with a frustrating stakeholder or a reporting manager, you need mental toughness. Um, or you might go to a requirements meeting and then there's 4 or 5 business stakeholders there. They do not know to give requirements properly. They are not familiar with their job functions, so they are not able to give requirements. And instead of trying to fill that gap and be clear when it comes to giving requirements and doing their homework, they want to blame somebody else and they want to make your job tough because they don't know how to do their job, right? The customers, they don't know how to do their job. So as a business analyst, they want to make your job tough. They'll give you a very hard time in the meetings, and there's like 5 people there, and then you are the only BA, and you have to manage them. Again, you need mental toughness. And a lot of people quit the job. I've seen people cry and leave the job. I've literally seen grown men cry and leave the job. And that's because that's where, I mean, what's being triggered is that mental toughness muscle. That's why they cry or they get frustrated, they have a mental breakdown, and then they leave. Nobody ever left because, hey, you know what? I have 90 percentage familiarity over Java. I don't have 10 percentage familiarity. So let me quit this job. No, they leave the job because they are not mentally tough. So mental toughness is fundamental for a business analyst or for any IT professional or for any corporate professional. If you want to have a long career, if you want to climb the corporate hierarchy, you need to be mentally tough and absolutely ruthless. And especially for all these middle class folks out there, and again, right, this might be a controversial thing to say, and if you guys have any comment or your own inputs, please do comment below. We can have a talk about it. But especially for these middle class folks who come into the corporate environment, I I think that mental toughness can improve. They are often very good, kind, nice, polite, but that will not cut the deal in life. You have to be ruthless. You have to be mentally tough, rhinoceros skinned, tough skinned, or thick skinned. If you do not have that, it's going to be really tough. And especially the majority of folks who enter the job market who have been raised in a middle class or upper middle class or rich environment, they often struggle there. They don't know what to do next. They don't have that resilience, that ruthlessness that, I don't know, a military guy might have, or somebody who's seen some life challenges might have. And as a business analyst or any IT professional entering the field, you need to start exercising that muscle. I myself have suffered from that. I had a fairly cushioned brought up, and I wasn't ruthless. I wasn't mentally tough when I entered this field, and it was a major weakness for me. Over a period of time, I'm still developing that. It's still work in progress, but I feel it's very important to be mentally tough, and it's very important to be ruthless and thick and rhinoceros skinned. That's very important. I myself, I'm still developing that. I'm still working on that. I have made progress, but there is some way to go. So this is the message that I wanted to convey for everybody out there, for job seekers, for folks who are in the IT business analysis and Scrum Master field, and for any other IT professional who's watching this. Be mentally tough, be strong. Thank you. I'll see you again in another video. If you have any questions, feedback, comment, or if you have any contrary thoughts to what I said, please do comment below. Please do subscribe to my channel and please do comment below if you have any questions. I read all my comments and I respond to all my comments. And please do let your friends and family know. Do share and subscribe. Thank you. You have a nice day.